In 2022, Israel launched a satellite called Ofeq-13, and since then it has been continuously orbiting Earth, collecting detailed images of the Middle East from 600 kilometers above. Now what makes this satellite interesting is its technology. It can capture images at 0.3 meter resolution. It can see through clouds using radar. It works both day and night, and it transmits data back to ground stations in real time. In this video, we are going to look at exactly how Ofeq-13 works, what sensors it carries, how Israel uses the data it collects, and what this satellite means for the broader Middle East region. We will also look at the history behind Israel's satellite program and where it is heading in the future. So if you are interested in space technology and defense systems, this video is for you. Let's begin. Israel's journey into space started back in 1988. That year, Israel became one of the very few nations in the world to independently launch a satellite into orbit. The satellite was called Ofeq-1. It was basic by today's standards, but it proved that Israel had the technical capability to reach space on its own. Over the next 3 decades, Israel continued developing and launching satellites. Some succeeded, some failed, but each mission added valuable experience and knowledge. Ofeq-3 in 1995 gave Israel its first real reconnaissance capability. Ofeq-5 in 2022 achieved sub-meter resolution for the first time. Then came Ofeq-7, Ofeq-9, Ofeq-10, and Ofeq-11, each one more capable than the last. By the time Ofeq-13 launched in 2022, Israel had over 3 decades of experience in building and operating Reconnaissance satellites. That experience is clearly reflected in everything Ofeq-13 can do today. Israel is a small country surrounded by complex regional dynamics. It shares borders with Lebanon, Syria, Jordan, and Egypt. Beyond those borders, there are various military forces, missile stockpiles, and ongoing conflicts that directly affect Israeli security. Getting accurate and timely information about military movements and activities in the region is therefore extremely important for Israeli defense planning. Ground-based intelligence has its limitations. Human agents cannot be everywhere. Signal intelligence has gaps. But a satellite orbiting 600 kilometers above Earth has a clear and unobstructed view of a very large area. It can monitor the same location multiple times every single day. It does not require anyone to be physically present in a dangerous location. For a country the size of Israel, having this kind of persistent overhead surveillance capability is not a luxury. It is a fundamental part of how the country maintains its security and defense readiness. Ofeq-13 was launched on July 22, 2022 from Palmachim Air Base in Israel using a Shavit rocket. The satellite orbits Earth at an altitude of approximately 600 kilometers in what is called low Earth orbit. It travels at around 27,000 kilometers per hour, which means it completes one full orbit of Earth every 90 minutes. This allows it to pass over the same geographic area multiple times each day. The satellite weighs an estimated 400 to 450 kilograms. It was developed by Israel Aerospace Industries, which is Israel's primary aerospace and defense company. The satellite is operated by Israeli defense and intelligence agencies. While many of its exact technical specifications remain classified, enough information is available from official statements and independent analysis to give us a clear picture of what this satellite is capable of and how it fits into Israel's broader intelligence infrastructure. The primary imaging system on Ofeq-13 is an electro-optical camera. This type of camera works similarly to a very powerful digital camera, but is specifically engineered for satellite use. It captures images in visible light and near-infrared wavelengths. The ground resolution of Ofeq-13's camera is estimated at approximately 0.3 meters. To put that into perspective, an object 30 centimeters in size is detectable from 600 kilometers above Earth. This means the camera can clearly distinguish between different types of vehicles, identify equipment at military facilities, detect changes in infrastructure, and monitor construction activity in significant detail. The camera system is stabilized against the vibrations and movements of the satellite platform to ensure sharp and usable imagery. Images captured by the electro-optical system are digitized onboard and then transmitted to ground receiving stations in Israel, where analysts begin processing them immediately upon reception. One of the most significant capabilities of Ofeq-13 is its reported synthetic aperture radar system, commonly known as SER. Traditional optical cameras can only work when there is sufficient light and when the sky is clear. Cloud cover or nighttime conditions make optical imaging impossible. SER works completely differently. Instead of capturing reflected light, SER emits its own radar pulses toward the ground and then measures how those pulses bounce back. By processing the returned signals, the system constructs a detailed image of the surface below. This process works regardless of lighting conditions and can penetrate through cloud cover. The result is that Ofeq-13 can collect imagery at any time of day or night and in virtually any weather condition. This significantly increases the number of usable imaging opportunities each day compared to a purely optical satellite and ensures more consistent coverage of monitored areas. Ofeq-13 was carried to orbit by Israel's Shavit rocket. Shavit means comet in Hebrew, and it has been Israel's primary satellite launch vehicle since the late 1980s. It is a 3-stage solid-fuel rocket developed by Israel Aerospace Industries. One unique aspect of Shavit launches is the direction they travel. Most rockets around the world launch toward the east to take advantage of Earth's rotation, which provides a natural speed boost. However, Israel cannot launch eastward because the rocket stages would fall over neighboring countries. Instead, Shavit launches westward over the Mediterranean Sea. This means the rocket is actually working against Earth's rotation, which requires considerably more fuel and engineering effort to reach orbit. Despite this technical challenge, Shavit has successfully delivered multiple satellites to orbit over the years, making Israel one of a small number of countries capable of independently launching satellites into space. Once Ofeq-13 captures imagery, the data needs to get back to analysts on the ground as quickly as possible. The satellite uses encrypted high-speed radio frequency links to transmit data to Israeli ground receiving stations. These ground stations are equipped with large dish antennas that track the satellite as it passes overhead and download the collected data. The transmission is encrypted to prevent interception by other parties. Once the data arrives at the ground station, it is processed and prepared for analysis. Modern satellite ground systems can begin delivering processed imagery to analysts within minutes of the satellite pass. This rapid turnaround is important for time-sensitive intelligence situations where decision-makers need current information quickly. Israel has invested significantly in its ground infrastructure to ensure that the full capability of Ofeq-13 can be utilized effectively and that collected data reaches the right people as fast as possible. Collecting satellite imagery is only the first step. The real value comes from how that imagery is analyzed and used. When Ofeq-13 imagery arrives at Israeli intelligence facilities, trained analysts examine it carefully. They compare new images against previously collected imagery of the same location to identify any changes. Modern analysis is assisted by artificial intelligence software that can automatically detect changes between images, flag unusual activity, and prioritize areas that require closer human examination. Analysts look for things like new construction at known facilities, changes in the number or type of vehicles present, signs of underground excavation, and movement of equipment or personnel. When significant findings are identified, they are compiled into intelligence reports that are distributed to relevant military and government decision makers. This information feeds into broader intelligence assessments and can directly inform operational planning and military decisions at various levels of the Israeli defense establishment. Israel currently stands as the only country in the Middle East with the ability to independently design, build, and launch reconnaissance satellites using its own rockets. This is a significant technical achievement that very few countries in the world have accomplished. Other countries in the region rely on purchasing satellite imagery from commercial providers or receiving intelligence from allied nations. Some countries have begun developing their own satellite programs but remain at earlier stages. Iran has launched some satellites, but their reconnaissance capabilities are assessed to be considerably less advanced than Israel's Ofeq series. This technical gap gives Israel a meaningful advantage in terms of the quality and timeliness of overhead intelligence it can collect about the region. Combined with intelligence sharing arrangements with the United States and other allied nations, Israel has access to a very comprehensive picture of military and security developments across the broader Middle East region. Israel's satellite program is not standing still. Development of future Ofeq satellites is ongoing, and the capabilities of each new generation are expected to improve upon the last. Future satellites may achieve even higher image resolution, more advanced radar systems, and better onboard processing capabilities that reduce the time needed to get useful imagery to analysts. Israel is also looking at operating multiple satellites simultaneously to increase the frequency with which any given location can be imaged. More satellites mean more coverage and faster response to emerging situations. Advances in artificial intelligence will also play an increasing role in how satellite imagery is processed and analyzed, making the overall system faster and more efficient. Israel's investment in space-based intelligence reflects a long-term strategic commitment to maintaining strong situational awareness across the region. The Ofeq program that began in 1988 continues to evolve and will remain a central part of Israeli defense capability for years to come. That covers everything about Ofeq-13 and Israel's satellite reconnaissance program. We looked at the history of the Ofeq series, the technology inside the satellite, how the data is collected and analyzed, and where the program is heading in the future. If you found this video informative, please give it a like, as it helps the channel reach more viewers. If you are new here, consider subscribing so you do not miss future videos on defense and space technology topics. If you have any questions or thoughts about this topic, feel free to leave them in the comments section below. Thanks for watching, and we will see you in the next video.